People who murder people go to jail. So why is it any different for these big oil companies? Hey guys, it's Elise. Welcome back to my channel. I make sustainability content. If you want to subscribe, today I just want to talk about the Great Deception and individual responsibility in the climate crisis. Sounds a doozy. It's well known that 100 corporations are responsible for 70% of emissions. They think that they can get away with not paying for the climate crisis that they've caused knowingly, willingly, and eagerly for the past 40 years. I'm talking to you, ExxonMobil. You've had reports, you've had them studied and published and then hidden to mislead the public about the dangerous effects of fossil fuels on our health, our environment, and our entire planet. So now what a lot of companies are doing is greenwashing their ads, telling people, oh, we're capturing our carbon, or we're moving towards more eco-friendly fossil fuel. Okay, like oxymoron, hello, that doesn't even exist. We're moving towards more like eco-friendly products for your cars and to fuel things. This has been dubbed the Great Deception by these big companies that are doing this because they're essentially trying to convince the public that their products have no adverse health effects on the planet. They're not causing global warming, essentially, is what they're trying to tell people, when in fact over 90% of what they're producing is still emitting vast amounts of carbon and putting into our atmosphere on the daily. Then you also have these same companies who are largely responsible for climate change, who aren't going to bear the brunt of the crisis, but it's going to be people like you and I, people in the global south. They're telling us to bring your own bags to the grocery store, or shop at the farmer's market, bring your own cup to the coffee shop, start a garden, start composting. While all of these individual actions are great, and they're great for eco-conscious living and intentional living, they're not gonna save the planet. Individual actions by myself and you, we can't save the planet just between the few of us that actually give a shit. What we need is for these companies to take large action. We need them to either pay millions and billions of dollars in fines, or actually switch over operations to clean grid energy systems, or do a little bit of both, honestly. But I do not want these companies to get away and just transition into clean energy while at the same time telling you and I that we're the ones that need to shoulder the responsibility in this climate crisis to save the planet. It's not feasible, it's not doable. There's just no way that me shopping secondhand, while it might like curb the capitalist within for a little bit, there's just absolutely no way that shopping secondhand all the time is going to stop our ice caps from melting. Do you see how far removed those two things are? Things that will help is carbon capture systems, but you know, number one is just to stop emitting fucking carbon in the first place, which is where we really need to start and buckle down. As of right now though, that is not gonna happen with these companies just spewing misinformation and telling us that it's all on us to buy green, buy organic, do all these sorts of things, when they're still gonna be okay in the end if we let them get away with it. Also, I just want to highlight the fact that they're pushing us to still buy things and still consume and overconsume because it's a culture of gluttony that capitalism survives off of, that the American way, just that's kind of how it is. We also aren't going to be able to buy ourselves out of this climate crisis. We actually really need to reduce our consumption in general of all things. But I just want to let you know that it is not your fault that we're in this climate crisis at all whatsoever. It's the people and the higher ups, people at ExxonMobil per se, who have known for 40 years, that's nearly half of a century, that have known that we're marching towards the end of humanity. Not only have they known it, they've willingly poured more money into it, and they've eagerly done so they can profit off of the end of our species, question mark. I've got news for you. You can't have profit without people or the planet. So I don't really know what you're gonna do in 25 years. It is just so urgent that in this point in time, we push our representatives to make big polluters pay. We send polluters big messages that we want our voices to be heard, that we are not the people that are responsible. You are. You need to shoulder this responsibility. You need to pay fines, taxes, whatever it is that's gonna get us out of this hole that you've dug us. I just would hate to see people that advocate for the climate and advocate for a better world to just go along and, yeah, okay, That's what they're telling me to do. That's what it's gonna take. That'll be fine. No, they're pulling the strings like we're the puppets, but we need those puppet masters to like face some jail time or something, honestly, something big and drastic, because it's not okay with me that I might not be able to have children because of the fact that these oil companies have wanted money. They've wanted profit. They're just greedy. And why is it okay for a few, like a handful of men, people, whatever, to profit while the rest of the world is crippled and suffering from their actions? People who murder people go to jail. So why is it any different for these big oil companies? Why aren't they facing any serious consequences? And why is it okay that they're telling me that it's up to me to bring a reusable bag to the grocery store every time I go? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. The math just literally doesn't add up. You can take those millions and billions of individual actions, but they're not going to curb the climate crisis the same way that stop producing fossil fuels will. It is just basic logic at that point. You don't have to do any crazy calculations and bring statistics into it. It's just a matter of fact. These companies are not focused on sustainability the way that they want you to believe. They just aren't. That's never been a core value for them, and if it was, they would have stopped polluting the planet 40 years ago when they found out that global warming was a man-made event. And it's gonna get really fucking bad. I'm demanding a viable future. I'm demanding sustainability practices incorporated across the board. I'm demanding a clean energy grid, and I'm demanding that from the people in power, and I think you should too. There's a very useful site about finding your representatives, their emails, their phone numbers, their Twitter handles, their fax numbers, their phone numbers, everything, and I'll have that link here. You just enter your zip code and you can find your representatives in your area and send them a message, even if it's something you only do once a year. You know, once a month, once a week, once a day. These are actions that will make a difference, because if we make enough of a ruckus, enough of a racket, annoy them enough, maybe we'll see some change. It's just absurd to think that these companies are going to get away with something as simple as deceiving the public and greenwashing and telling us that we care about sustainability, we really do, and then continue to spill oil in our waterways and pollute people and just feed us toxicity in every sense of the word in every possible way that they can. And I'm not here for it at all whatsoever. I would love to see a big huge tax on oil polluters. I don't want to see them get away with it. I don't want to see them just switch over to clean energy and it'll be hunky-dory. I don't think that's fair, especially because this climate crisis is a lingering thing and it's only just gotten started. I'm gonna need to see some major responsibility. It is not up to you and I. We cannot save the planet alone. It's gonna need to take the backing of corporations and of governments to find our way out of this hole. But don't let them think that your purchasing choices are the end-all be-all of humanity, because that is wildly irresponsible to put on the everyday person and also deceive them so that they feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have been using plastic bags for the past 30 years, and that's all they've ever been given the option of. That's all they've ever really known for the convenience sake. I could go on, but I just wanted to illustrate and highlight the fact that it is just so far beyond you and I, and that we really need to demand from people that are in power, that have the money, that have the know-how, to do something about it and to hold the right people accountable. The little man can't uphold the climate crisis. It doesn't make sense. We're not the ones who started it. Like, we really did not start this fire, so how are you expecting us to put it out? If you guys like sustainability content, you can subscribe here. You can also follow me on Instagram. I do a bit more fashion focused, secondhand sorts of things if you're interested in that. You guys can check out some of my other videos. I have a playlist at the very end. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys in my next one. Don't forget to be kind to yourself, others, and the planet. I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you later. Bye.